All right, guys, we're live. Um, so it is late night baiting with the bait man. Unfortunately, just had a pretty bad ass kicking just happened in basketball. Let me get this straw out of my mouth. But anyway, we're going to talk about the Bassmaster Elite Series at Gunnersville. We finished day 3 here. I'm going to pull up the results. And we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit about baits tonight, and we can just hang out and chill for a little bit if you're cool with that. So first of all, this derby is pretty crazy. It's unfortunately it's hard to find the results for a tournament on the Bassmaster website. Now I found it. Went to leaderboard. So leading is Jamie Hartman and then West Logan, Alabama native, second place. Stetson Blaylock, my boy Matt Robertson in striking distance, and Kyle Welcher. How good is Kyle Welcher? Hank Cherry, Justin Atkins, Dakota Ebear, Brandon Carr, and Trey McKinney. And I go ahead and just be honest. This is a great tournament for Trey McKinney. Um, Obviously, the kid can catch him, but so many people wrote him off last year as, oh, he couldn't make a top 10 without scope. He ain't shit without a live scope. And dude, he's intent, throwing a jerk bait, throwing a Duke lipless crankbait. And so props to him, but a lot of guys know that Trey can catch him. And so I see a lot of social media posts, especially the last day, that this just proves all them scopers had to have a scope. Actually, it's just one tournament, you know. Uh, and what's funny is some of the loudest critics of the remove the live scope didn't even get a check. So, you know, that's nothing negative to them. Gunnersville was really tough. There's a lot of water that's just unfishable because of ice and all that stuff, and it's really opened it up to really the guys that can fish offshore in the springtime, whether that's with a scope or without it. What's up, Chris? Absolutely, man. So tomorrow at Super Bowl at 2 o'clock, we're going to do a little whatnot pregame. Tons of hard baits. I'm gonna have some jigs, some spinner baits, all kinds of stuff. So join me over there on whatnot, and whether you want to buy some or not, we shoot the crap. So I'm gonna do that from 2 till it's time. But I also got a lot of cool stuff that's I'm gonna talk about tonight that we're gonna have on some future whatnots. And I bought $2,000 of balsa baits. I think I'm insane, and then all kinds of OG lucky grabs. So. Let's see here. I'll throw some comments up here. Brad Crum, great dude. Go Vols, Brad. Sorry about tonight. Just, I don't know. Pope's got Barnes' number. Hopefully, Matty catches a big bag. I'm really pumped for Matt. He had a really bad year last year. And from fish coming off, just wasn't in a rhythm. And, dude, it's the Tennessee River, and I should have picked him in fantasy fishing. Matt's a great springtime angler, especially here on Kentucky Lake. He is had a lot of his magic in that February, March pre-spawn time, and that's really kind of before live scope. Matt's done really good, and I wish the best for him. I texted him yesterday and today, and he didn't text back, but that's okay. I send texts and say, don't text back. Keep him in the zone. So Trey was smoking folks in Central Illinois before scoping. Yeah, dude, he was like 13 to 14 years old, winning tournaments with a flipping stick and a jig. Uh, Played on Xbox and thought, well, I'll just take this video game stuff. No, he done it shallow, and I'll be honest, Central Illinois lakes for the most part are gar holes, at least to me. Wren Lake, if you catch a 10-pound bag on Wren Lake, you're doing something. West Coast Chris says that balsa was looking like absolute heat. Man, it is. We'll go through some of that here tonight. I'll show you what I'm going to put up for sale. It'll be a while. I'm going to put some of it on Facebook in a claim post, and then the rest we're going to put on Whatnot. What is up, Tom? I hope you're doing good. By the way, I'm glad to be back streaming, and I want to apologize. I don't stream as much as I used to, but I work afternoon shifts, so that's 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Friday, and I work a lot of Saturday overtime, unfortunately. So that really hurts my streaming window. So that's why I do Whatnot on Sundays. Eventually I want to make more video content, and I might as well. I'm trying to upload shorts to get pair with my Instagram and TikTok for you guys that don't have that. So, all right, Fishing Fox, nice comment. I think people are going to find out that many of the forward-facing sonar rate anglers are going to find out how they fish overall. So that's the cool thing about this format. Half the tournament's with forward-facing, half without. So really, at the end of the year, you're probably going to have a really good battle for Angler of the Year. You're going to figure out who can be consistent with it or without it. A couple bad tournaments could really set you behind if you're an angler that struggles with forward-facing sonar. Vice versa, if you struggle without it, a couple bad tournaments could really put you behind. And Angler of the Year is all about consistency. I think some of these guys that can finish in the, and I hate to say this, average, don't have any just bombs, but if you can just be close to the top 50 all year long, you're going to have a really good shot at making a classic. So, oh man, there are worse lakes in Illinois we fish other than Rend. That's bad. I haven't been to many of them. I've heard stories though, Dustin, but you are a hammer. So, Jay Hood says new bait room. Yes, man. I moved houses a couple months ago. This is the new bait room. It is indoors. It's a work in progress. What's up, Bayou Burner? Long-time OG subscriber on here. Let's see. Very true about Trey McKinney. This comes from the Burley crazy name, Hype Man. Very true about Trey McKinney. I think conditions aren't giving a true result with or without it. Yeah, the storm definitely made it tough. Here we go. JJ Pat, how come so many locals or homestead anglers did poorly? So that's something that's really kind of blowing my mind, JJ. You had a lot of local guys. Let's say Russ Lane, Jordan Lee, Gerald Swindle, Tucker Smith. Logan Parks did fair. Randy Howe absolutely crapped the bed. I didn't know. I did not see. For some reason, I don't feel these fish set up on a lot of stuff they normally do. I didn't see a lot of guys fishing bridges. Didn't see a lot of riprap guys. It seems like they call this the magical mile. There's a main river bar with patches of hydrilla and eelgrass that guys are really focusing on. And I don't know. I feel like if this tournament was 2 weeks ago, right before the front came in when MLF was here, it would have been, you've seen a lot more mix of bladed jigs, some square bills. You would still seen lipless. You would seen minnow baits. That swim bait bite was good. A lot more variety, but more importantly, guys moving around. Jacob Walker was fishing lily pad stems, really shallow. So a lot of those MLF fish were a lot shallower. Depending on the weather tomorrow, you could see that bite heat up pretty good. Now, I'm not a Gunnersville expert, but Hunter Nixon says, "What's up, bait man? Been a while since it's been on stream." Heck yeah, dude. It has been a while since I really streamed, so I kind of doing this late night to test out, and people can always listen to it back. Randy killed me. I did not watch Randy, so what's up, Gabe? Hope everything's good, man. I do not watch Randy Block anymore. I've unsubscribed, and that's not anti-Randy. It's just the content's not for me, and why give people clicks that just make you upset anyway? I don't need any of that to talk about. So I did notice that, JJ. I think some of these fish will be starting to move shallower eventually. So I guess to what extent do you think the results would be if forward-facing sonar weren't involved? Now, I think there would obviously be some shake-up in that top 25. It really depends on how the fish are going to set up. From what I was told, a lot of these fish are hanging out on the bottom, whereas 2 weeks ago, you had a lot more fish suspended. They were up higher in the water column. They were moving shallow, and guys could target them with the minnow a lot better. Right now, it seems a lot of fish are down in the grass, and that's one thing you're seeing where guys are snagging fish is they're slapping at the bait versus eating the bait. And I've seen them ding dongs on social media, and I made a short about it, crying the blues that that's not fishing, that's snagging. Look, it's really hard to snag a bass. Like it, people that say the guys do it on forward facing. Look, that cone is so narrow, and the bass is even narrow. Yeah, it's just almost impossible. And to do it without it, it's really these bass slapping a bait. That bait's ripped from grass, and as it's falling, it accidentally runs into one that's down there. So, this ain't California. It's they're not sight fishing. If one's hooked in the back or in the side, I think you should count it. It's really crazy that can actually happen. Oh, Randy Howe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Randy Howe. I didn't mean to lump you in with Randy Blockett. Uh, let's see here. The red lipless seems to be on. Yeah, dude. So let's talk about that red lipless bait real quick. I'm gonna give you a little bait knowledge here. If I got some red lipless baits around me. One in particular I really want to talk about, and it's actually the color. I do not have the Raven Red. One not. Man, I got piles of lipless baits. We got to move some on whatnot tomorrow night. Let me go get a OG Raven Red for you guys. Let's talk about it. If I can find one here. Actually, this is a good box. All right, we got a couple of them in here. So everybody always asks me, and they ask pros all the time. They say, "Why is red so good in the spring?" Here's my answer. I don't have an answer. It's like the posi track on a Plymouth, to quote Joe Dirt. It just does. It just works. Whether that's because of crawfish, I don't know. But here's the original Raven Red. You see lots of variations in this, but the first company to make a Raven Red was Cordell, and it was very popular with the Spot, which is a great lipless bait. Hey, JJ Patton, thanks for joining. By the way, guys, uh, I'm I'm going to change the numbers on this ship to this thing to like 99 cents and whatever, $4 or all that. I plan on doing more content, but I appreciate all the support. Uh, and I'm going to see if there's got to be a way I can make a special whatnot discount code for just members that y'all can use once a show or something. But so here's Raven Red. This is the original. This is the Cordell Spot. So this is the color that Rattle Trap, Excalibur, all those guys copied. So this came out in about 1994, 1995. This bait had Jimmy Houston's name on it, Excalibur hooks, and I've got a few. They're actually in my boat right now. And this is the color that you see on the Excaliburs and everywhere, and people would like really freak out. It's one thing that's cool about the Raven Red. It's got that dark back, and then the red and a little bit of orange. But this is just a fish catching color. West Coast Chris says, I think the red is marketing, but that's just me. I tend to agree at an extent, but in my own fishing in the spring, it's hard to get me off that, a variation of that, or something with chartreuse. Hey, what's up, Matt Mays? Love that with gold and Don't Tell Dusty. Well, I'll tell you a good one to me. So one thing about the Cordell Spot versus some of these baits they're throwing right now in the grass, this isn't a great grass bait uh, to get down in the grass. This is a better bait when fish are up shallower, and you want to catch these fish that are more aggressive on top of the grass. The Spot does not run near as deep as a regular rattle trap. Now, This is another big player. This is a 3/4 ounce Strike King 2-tap. This guy actually came out of my fishing box. This one's seen a few, but the 2-tap, very similar to the Excalibur 1-knocker. Now, some guys really swear by the old Excalibur 1-knocker. I'm here to tell you there's almost no differences between the Booyah and the Excalibur. And I'll go ahead and tell you, I worked for Pradco when Excalibur came out. And toward the end of my work there is kind of, we'd heard through the grapevine that Excalibur was going to go away and Booyah would soak up the square bills and the 1-knockers. Nothing was really going to change other than maybe some paint differences. The internal weight's the same, the way the bait's built the same, it's the same plastic. They just discontinued the brand Excalibur and rolled the 1-knocker, the XR series, and the Booyah, and put the XCS square bills. So, yes, Hype Man, 6 cents suspending slow sink. I really like the Quake. The Quake's kind of my jam. Again, it's kind of like a spot. It fishes a little bit shallower, but I like that here on Kentucky Lake. We don't have grass, but I can tick the bottom really fast with that Quake. The Duke is really good as well. I do agree, Jess. I like a nose-heavy lipless when fishing grass. And I'm not a grass expert. I need to get a guy on here that is. That would really help. Find some other lipless I got handy that are really good. Lucky Craft LV. Check this out. It's an LV 300. A lot of guys know about the LV 500, but the LV 300 is a really good bait. It's not as heavy as the LV 500. Where's some more of these lipless baits? So this is a color on Kentucky Lake I really like. This is green tomato and red eye shad. Red eye shad, great bait for obvious reasons. Been around many years, and this is a normal one. This is not a 1-knocker. Is the Lucky Craft LV 500 still considered the go-to lipless? I think it is for fishing slow and deep. It's definitely a better deep water lipless than shallow. The guys out west like dead stick that thing. You know, you've heard Matt and Tim talk about it, and I've seen them catch on that. I have thrown a hammer trap when it came out a couple years ago. It's a totally different feel. I'll be honest, I'm a fan of the OG Bill Lewis rattle trap. I catch a lot of fish on an OG rattle trap. And, you know, I like root beer. The Diamond Shad from Strike King's a sleeper that you don't hear many people talk about. I'm trying to find one. Maybe not in this box. This is a good bait, too. They don't make these anymore. These are the Rapala Rippin' Wraps. Man, these things are really nice. Really loud. I did not hear Swindle talking about that. Aruku Shad is definitely a really good one. All right, here we go. Mike Vogel. I'll tell you the best YouTube video on lipless crankbaits that I know of. You guys will go back through my live streams from back in the day. I had one with a guy named Matt Bryan. Matt's the best lipless crankbait fisherman I've ever been around. And he gives out absolute juice from rod, reel, line. And the interesting thing, he uses a really long rod for rattle trap fishing. He doesn't lose many fish. So that's something else. So go watch that. OG Chrome Blue, really hard to beat. Let's see. Here, good question from Mike Vogel. What is the most important aspect of a lipless to getting a bite? Color, knot, fall rate. I'll tell you, I think it's retrieve. I've seen it where many times where a guy that's just throwing a lipless out and just doing this versus a guy like, this is how I like to fish. I throw it out there, now reel, stop, pump my rod, reel, stop. Then I might burn it. That guy that's varying his retrieve seems to get more bites. Now, obviously, if you've kind of got the retrieve down as far as bait wise, a rattle trap's really good because for the most part, it runs really straight. And when it falls, it almost it doesn't fall like a red eye shad, but it's just got a real abrupt stop. Whereas an Uruku shad will fall nose down, LV 500 falls nose down, but the Oyo Zuri and red eye shad, when you're reeling those fast and you stop, they'll kind of pivot and swing down. And I think sometimes that gets a lot of bites, and in that grass, I feel like because it's getting all crazy, it hits a clump or you rip it out of a clump and it gets all wacky. That triggers a bite. But for me, one thing a lot of people don't look at is the hooks. Like I like really good hooks. The rattle trap is known for back in the day having junk hooks. You had to change them out. I always put Gamakatsu round brand bends. So that's one thing I don't mind on 6 cents on the Quake and Duke. They put those really good hooks on it. But you need to be changing your hooks out throughout the day. You catch 3 or 4 fish, you're fishing a lot of rock, change them out. I'm with you, DT. I I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I smell bullshit and it feels like bullshit. I do have a bunch of quarter ounce traps. Actually, I got a bunch of quarter ounce red eye shads as well. I got quarter ounce Cordels and Raven Red. I'll be throwing a lot of this stuff on Whatnot tomorrow. We here. Here's a little Smoky Joe quarter ounce. Uh, Here's some quarter ounce Cordels and Raven Red. There is a time and a place for these tiny traps. So I'll be running a lot of these lipless tomorrow night. I'm gonna run 2 for 1. So let's see. You had no luck on red eye. Sold them all. Wow. Well, it's not a bait that everyone likes. I like the Quake and the rattle trap. I've caught a lot of fish on a red eye shad. Um, let's see. Thunderhawk silent any good? Turd, I wish I could tell you. I've never thrown the Thunderhawk series of baits, so I'm not going to comment on something I don't know about. I've seen some reviews that people talk good about it. Let's see. Corey said he used the jigsaw this week. Have you got one to use? I have not got one to use. It is harder to get a jigsaw than about any other bait. You've pretty much got to be a pro. Haven't got one in my hands to use. I've heard it's going to be late February, early March before they hit retail shelves. And I'll give you guys a tip. Check your local Dick's or Academy first. I think you'll see dealers get the jigsaw and the jigsaw minnow before they hit the 6 Cents website. What time tomorrow? I'm actually going to start at 2 o'clock Central Time and run to about 5 o'clock. Then I got friends coming home. So we're going to do a 3 hour power hour or whatnot. Try to move 100 items of stuff. Let's see. Booyah One Knocker and Gold is a really good one. Let's see if I got any more lipless in here before I have to go outside. I know I got one I want to show you guys. Let's see. What's in here? More Raven Reds. More Raven Reds. Bleeding Red Eye Shed. So many freaking baits. We'll get y'all a sleeper real quick. Oh man, I've got this big giant box of Lucky Crap. Let's go through some stuff I've recently acquired. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta text my wife. All right, let's see. The old sugar shed. Very, yes, they are. What's with the jigsaw minnow? You got it yet? I do have the jigsaw minnow. I actually did a video on Instagram, uh, Dustin, on the jigsaw minnow. It's kind of like a segmented version of like a striking blade minnow, a little different body. Um, it's kind of like a cross between that and a spunk shad. It collapses really well. Totally different action. It's a little bit bulkier. So let's get into some of this stuff I got. This will be on Whatnot. If you guys remember any of these things. Here. This one's probably going on the shelf. Look at this. Lucky Craft CBD20 in Table Rock. Man, so this is a good one. You get a lot of these Table Rock ones where the back's not really that purple. This one's got a really good purple back. So obviously this is a deep crankbait. Good bait here. Definitely going on a shelf back here. I won't be spilling it. I've got all kinds of jerk baits from a Pointer 100 SP. We got lots of really good colors in here. There's that, got that cracked blue. That was a really good one. That's what they call it, cracked blue. We got the, damn, how did this fall? This was a very underrated Lucky Craft crankbait. That's the LC 5.5 DD. So very similar to the C20 Cloud from 6 Cents. Yeah, dude, Whatnot's got some nice finds. Ghost Minnow. Don't see those in especially that packaging. Look at here. Look what I found. That was a Gunfish 115. Oh, absolutely, Mike. Come back anytime. I know it's late night. You guys can watch it. One of my all-time favorites, Table Rock Shad 2100. Dollar and Go. These will all be Dollar and Go, B. Harris. It's going to take a while. It'll be a while before I run all these. But I got this out because there's a lipless bait. I wanted to show you guys. Like these are all LC, RTOs and 3.5s. Just good baits. Same color. Where is that? Look at all these in the package. This is crazy. You can't find these at Ollie's, but you can get the new ones. Look at all these TO 2.5s. Yeah, RTO in the package. So after the RC, the next version was the TOs. And these are the closest to the original Rick Klein's. All they did, and I know this from Lucky Craft, all they really did on this bait is the same. They just changed the name. There's no hook difference. There's no internal difference. They just put Cock's name as a signature. Now the new ones, they are a little different, but the Takahiro, the Rick Klein, and the ones with Brent Allen on the package still feature a tungsten ball bearing in the inside. The new ones are stainless steel. It does make a difference to some people. Where is it? God dang, look at all these. Here's a good one. A little TO craw and a 2.5. That's a nasty springtime bait right there. Man, my academy's going on. My dicks, it sucks. This is a good bait too, 2.5 DD TO, and that Aurora Citrus. Man, all these are OGs. I'm trying to find the RTO liquids. Those are really, really good. 4.5 RC5. That's a really good one. Where is the hell? There's so many baits here. You talk about a nasty springtime crankbait. I don't know if I Whatnot these. This is the Skeet Mini DR. And that color is Spring Craw. So you guys that love a Bandit, you like a Series 3 Strike King, that small profile mid diver, I throw these during tournaments. Like I've caught a lot of fish on that bait right there. especially if you can find it in Japan crawl. That's a nasty color. Uh, Harris, I got some balsa baits. Here we go. Here's the bait I was looking for. This one right here. This is a really good grass fishing bait. This is the LV RTL 150. These are really kind of hard to find. And that's it. That's that TO crawl. Man, this guy is really, really good. Y'all want to see some balsa baits? Harris is in here. We'll get some balsa baits. Yeah. I get more room. It's like I can't conquer all these little stuff. I got about 200 Lucky Craft baits in package. They'll all be bucket go. I might run a few tomorrow. All right. I'm sorry, I'm raising Cain back here. What's the difference in a SKT and a flat CBMR? The bill for number one, the body on the skeet's a little bit smaller than the flat CBMR. I do like the flat CBMR. I got a couple in that bundle. Really, really good bait. Especially in like that root beer crawl. That was a really good one. And they did another one that was like called tomato crawl. I don't sell those if I find them. I also like this one right here. Check this, JJ. This is the LC 1.0 DRS. This is my favorite crawfish color from Lucky Craft. That's called Japan Crawl. Like for some reason on Kentucky Lake is they eat that color. Gravel Dog's a great bait, hype man. Really is. Especially in that fire crawl color. Really good bait. I love how my boxes just keep falling. All right, let's talk balsa. Let's talk balsa. So I bought $5,000 worth of balsa crankbaits, or $2,000. And I'm not the balsa man like Mr. Harris is, but I got some good stuff here. Check these out. This is from Frankenstein Custom Lures, Mr. Darren Reed. This is called a Thundercat. So I've got 4 of these. Eventually, these will all be on Whatnot. Check this little guy out. Look at this guy. Look at the bill. But I've never seen a copper full with a purple back. Really cool looking little color. And Darren's full jobs are amazing. So we've got that one. That's a Thundercat, and I got a couple other colors. This is kind of my favorite. Look at this guy right here. See if the lot looks good. Look at this full chartreuse, orange, purple back. Oh my gosh. This guy goes about 4 or 5 feet. This guy is smaller build, kind of like a Jackal Bling almost. Man, and this is Frankenstein Custom Lures. Hey, it could be on the shelf. It could be. And then 2 other colors in this thing I really like. This is the old school sun granny. You know, your full chartreuse, black back. I wish the light was right in here. It's a really good one. It's almost too bright. Let me turn the light down just a little bit on the old TikToker. This might make for some better lighting. Let's see. Oh yeah, much better, much better. Y'all can see that great full job on this thing. And this is just stuff coming in the future. I'm going to keep a lot of it for myself too. I don't know who makes this. I don't know who makes this. Look at this little bait. B. Harris might know. There's a name. It has a 7 on the back. This may be a Darren Reed bait as well. But look at this great crawl color. It's got some purple. Now this is something I would throw in the same place that I'm probably gonna throw like a Wiggle Wart or a Series 4, a little bit bigger profile, out there in 10, 12 foot of water. Really like that. That's cool. This one's sick too, right here. This is kind of a nice shad pattern. You can see the full job on it. Really cool little bait. And you see that wire. That's a wire through bait. What's up, Neely? Neely's in the house. What else do we get in here? Got a lot of these black labels. Cliff Pace. Uh, very similar to the bait that Hellbass was trying to pimp out there on Whatnot. Very similar to that. This is a zoom, similar to a zoom tap style bait. I like these flat sides, not so much in the spring, but kind of that post spawn era. Mid-April, these work really good in those, 8 to 10 foot of water transition zones around stumps. Really good little bait. What's up, Jason? Guy needed a cold paper surgery, called him out of the blue. Interesting. Yeah, that's it. Gabe is the tap out. I've got several of those. I like this one. It's just kind of like an Arkansas shiner color. And Cliff does an amazing job. He just shouldn't. He doesn't get the credit he deserves. This is kind of my favorite though. Look at this guy. Got that kind of a taco salad like color. I think Ed Chambers called this like the classic leader. That was his favorite. But yeah, that's the tap out, modeled after a Zoom tap. What else? And then I got some of these guys. I found one that's going to have to go on the. What do you guys think? You think this one should go on the shelf? This is a Hatching Concepts. I think it's a ripping 1.5. It's kind of a full purple with chartreuse belly. Now these are made out of California redwood. They're not made out of balsa. It's still a really cool little guy here. And then I got some more Cliff Paces. Now this one I don't know if y'all are gonna get from me. These, I believe this one's called the Peanut. Little small balsa, thumbnail lip, nice little finessey bait, and kind of like a hot chocolate color. Yeah, the Fritz side is a good bait. It is. I agree, Gabe. He's got so much stuff it's hard to keep up. Now I like this guy. Cliff makes a really good root beer. So you root beer fans, look at that. His root beer is on point. Very similar to that Rattle Trap root beer that's very popular. That is Black Label Balsa, JJ. It's Cliff Pace. Now these are my favorites. This is old Jimmy. Old Jimmy Etter. I mean, I got a ton. This is a good bait. This is called the Bruise X. And I fish this thing quite a bit. That's a Jimmy Etter bait. It's the Bruise X. A little different style body almost kind of like a Hickey from Zoom. Because at the Bruise X, I've caught several fish on that in the fall. I wish I could see. It's got like a light green back. A little yellow. Really, really good. Yeah. Now, these, I forgot the model on these, but these are the Jimmy Etters I throw away a lot. Look at this guy. Kind of almost a chartreuse shad. Man. So in my to-go balsa box, that's it. Comes in my boat. I've got a bunch of these, and then this one's these two are plain nasty. So this one's got kind of a purple back, almost like a bone Plemons color. Really nasty little finesse square bill right here. So I'll be putting some of these Etters on Whatnot. And this one won't go because it's kind of like my favorite. This is called Gunnersville Shad. Look at this. Look at a full job on that. And he put some small triple grips on there. But Jimmy was my favorite builder. Unfortunately, he don't make baits anymore. And this is the FTJ. I got one of those. Full, look at that, full gold. And it's got some purple flake in it. Ooh, man. Nasty balsa baits. Unfortunately, again, he don't make baits anymore. There's guys selling them for 40, 50 a piece. I've sold several for 35. It just, I'm always afraid to get rid of stuff that I know you can't get in. Like they're tough. Yep. One thing I wish I had was some red edders. I don't have a lot of red ones. Oh, this plain old box is plain falling apart. Let's go to let's just go straight to juice real quick. This is the box B Harris would like. Check this out. Let's just start straight up. What's that? It's a flat shad. I got several of them. Let's look at a couple of these. These are not Sonny McFarlane. These are all. This is the first run of technically Rob Cochran jawjackers in the package. So these were based off designs from Sonny McFarlane. What's up, Munchie? Is a BDS Strike 3 and light blue crawl worth anything? Big Daddy Strike 3? Yeah, probably 10, 15 bucks. The real desirable colors are the reds and Sharkers black, Ghost Minnow. Dude, Jimmy used to sell them at like 20 bucks a piece. Very reasonable. So check that out. Don't know the model, but that's a sweet little boss of bait. So if you're into the jawjacker scene, these are early models, and it's hard to tell the difference between these and a Sonny McFarlane bait. In fact, the packages say designed by Sonny McFarlane. They don't mention anything about Rod Cochran or anything. I believe that is the Model B. But I got a couple foiled baits here that are just nasty. Look at this guy. This is like a foiled Clemens color. Yeah, that's how you used to have to buy them off Etsy. And then Jimmy got to where I was buying. He would just sell them to me. Look at this guy. Ohio River, guys. What do you think about that? Illinois River. Very nice little model. Probably runs 3-4 foot deep. Kind of a fatter. That's very McFarlane-like. Really good little bait. But this one here is kind of a full blue crawl. If you remember the jawjackers I showed off on Whatnot about a week ago, this one is very similar. Check this guy out. Look at that. Look at that. Potomac River, guys. Oh, man. Whew. That is some absolute balls of heat right there. Like, man. So those original are $18. I'm sure those are $35, $40 baits now, especially being in the package like that. Other things I got, check these out. This is a Stevie G. I'll just run a couple colors here. These are made from a man named Steve Gentry over around Louisville, Kentucky. And I've got a few of his baits already, but man, they got an old school design to them. Kind of similar to like a harder gulp, but a balsa bait, a little bit bigger body. Kind of a bone with the green with the old school speckles in there. And these were made in, it says Stevie G on the back. I think these were made a few years ago. But that's a really cool little plug. And these actually cast really well. Yes, it does, JJ. So I got that one. I got multiples of all these colors. And dude, this red crawl, this thing looks nasty. So that one's going to have to go on that red crawl right there. I'm telling you, give me about 2 weeks here on Kentucky Lake. That one's going to catch. These are all handmade. It's almost kind of got a little bit of a wee bait shape to it as well if you look at it. But shallower diver. I need a new rod too. Actually, speaking of, I I got a new cranking rod. Level Fishing Rods reached out to me, and you know, I don't have any kind of exclusive on rods. You know, 6 cents always taking care of me, but um, you know, I'm willing to try anything. So Level Fishing reached out to me, and they're sending me a minnow shaking rod and a flat side rod. I said, what do you want? I said, I want the best flat side rod you got because I throw them a lot in the spring in the minnow rod. So hopefully that'll be here this week. And I'm really interested in trying out that Level cranking rod. Uh, you know, I'll give you guys an honest review on it. They're not paying me or nothing, just sending me some stuff. I really like this Stevie G. It's kind of a bone with a purple back, almost a pink back. I don't know if you guys can see this. Look at that. Do these balsa baits get weight added to them, or is it just wood itself? For the most part, they're just wood. Some guys put ballast in them. Um, it's hard to tell unless you know. But man, I like that. That would be a dirty watercolor for me. That's a color I'm going to throw in some off color water. It's hard to beat white, red eyes, and then this Stevie G is really nasty. I wonder where my personal box is. Oh, it's sitting in here. Look at here. Oh, pearl, purple, greenback, almost a royal shad. Megabass flat side special. I've never tried one, Gabe. I've heard of that. 734 CB. Hmm. I like that rod, but I think that's too much rod for me for a shallow flat set. Personally, I like something that's 7 foot or shorter. Um, but and I like something medium moderate. I don't like a lot of too much backbone. Now, once it warms up, I'll go to something like a 7.2 medium heavy moderate, a little more backbone. I don't know if they are or not. I know at one time it was Gagliardi making his own. Now I think they've got several different models. Let's see what else I got here. Here's some old school. These are in the package. I'm not going to take them out. These are made by John Hott. These are nasty little baits. Nasty. Check these out. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of John Hott, Boss of Baits. Epic Eric could tell you. Look at this guy. Whew. That right there, very similar to like that old Shad Rat color. Got the thumbnail bill on it. Here's kind of a chrome chartreuse belly, black back. These are in the package probably 30, 35 bucks. But man, look at this red. I actually got one of these out. Let me see if I can find one out of the box here somewhere. Yeah, I got to complete it out. These John Hotts are nasty. Yeah, I like the 704 CB. If I was gonna get a Dobbins, I would get a 704 CB. There's nothing wrong with Dobbins. I just don't own one, or actually don't own one at all. Check this. There's another John Hott. Look at that little bait right there. Now you can't tell me a springtime bass would not eat that thing. So one thing over like the Edders, these are a lot bigger body. This is more of almost uh, very similar to like the striking hardliner size. Actually a little bit bigger, probably about 65 millimeters on this. Really like that. Good little paint job. And then this one, this is also a John Hott. Really good looking crawfish design. Red crawl. Definitely gonna keep a couple of them in my box. Um, and then these are some other balsa baits. These are a bigger body style. This is Carolina custom crankbaits. I forgot the maker. Check that guy. Don't want to throw one of those in Kentucky waters. It'd probably hang up or break off your PB because I stand Vols shit in the bed again. It's a little bigger body, and then I like this one. kind of a burnt sun granny. Uh, Full on the bottom, full on the top. Really nice little balsa bait right there. Yeah, Furies are good rods. My only problem with Dobbins is they break all the time. I've owned two and I broke both of them. Now, I ain't going to say they weren't my fault. I could have stepped on them or something, but they got a good warranty. But warranty's great for replacing your rod, but if you're breaking them all the time. And there's a kind of a root beer one, man, really nice. Who's that builder that sent some beautiful bosses to you in JR a couple years ago? They were talking about Justin Royal. That was Jimmy. The one I sent Justin Royal was a Jimmy Eater. I even got some Norman boss baits. But anyway, instead of sitting here talking about my baits all the time, I'll answer some questions. We got 35 people on here. You guys can listen back. I wish I could find my own boss. Oh, here it is. You're probably talking about this bait right here. This box I'm getting into is this is it. It's called the Jimmy Eater Bootlegger. That's the one I sent Justin Royal right there. I had two of them. And it's called the Bootlegger. That's a really good bait. A little bit bigger, balsa, flat side, beautiful purple on it. Here's another one of those Stevie G's. I actually got two of them. I got this full ones, like a full threadfin shad, really, really nice one. And this is a kind of a pineapple, really cool looking bait right there. Man, love that one. So, got a lot of baits down here. We got some Marty Burns. Speaking of Marty Burns, anybody else get on the TK drop? I got a couple TKs heading my way. I gotta get this in bait box in my boat. Gotta get the boat going on. I just put a live scope. Oh, Marty Burns. Marty Burns. These are the ones for Junior. Yeah. Wish Junior would want to go fishing. So these are all Marty Burns they sent to Junior, which was, so there's this little faded sun dolphin, little bitty, about 1.0 size. Yeah, that was nice. Fell out of my hand. Little 1.0 size, Marty Burns. Oh yeah, I know Brendan. Brendan's on here a lot. Dustin, I'm gonna try to go to the classic, hang out with him. These guys are beautiful. Little Marty baits. Check this little lavender shad out right there. Woo. And I put some hooks on here. These are actually decoy trebles. Man, that's one of the most beautiful baits I've seen. And then here's a little sun granny, little 1.0 square bill, and you know that's going to get bites. And then very similar to like a baby pig, beautiful color. Marty, they're all handmade. There's no CNC with all that. So Junior's just, I've been like, hey, you want to go fishing? You got your Marty baits? And he's like, no, nah, I'm good. Okay. He's like, can I just throw a spinner bait? Junior likes throwing a kayak on a ball head as well. Put that in there. I forgot. Oh, this is a cool bait. This is from Yuma. Yuma Lure Company. A guy named Tyler Hawthorne makes these. These are nasty. Whew. Well, Bruce, I'll have some black labels on whatnot. I'm going to make a post on Facebook before I really do all that. With anything I just showed you, Marty Burns wise, might be sold. That's in my personal collection. Oh, dang. Check this out. Here's some balsa history for you. So today I got to, Junior had a basketball game, and I picked up some hats at the East Tennessee Fishing Show for Walt Lawrence's daughter, Stephanie Lawrence. Walt Lawrence also named his Wally G passed a while back, so he's not making no more of his baits. Legendary builder. He was from Paducah, so I got her some hats, and she said, "I want you to have these baits. Just promise me you won't resell them for profit." And I said, "I'm not going to resell them for profit. I don't sell my Wally G's. Any Wally G's I've got are actually hanging up back there." And so I decided I'm going to give away a little bait. This is called a Hank, and I put this on Woodbait Nation uh, to do a little giveaway for. But man, this is like almost like a Bandit 1100. Check this guy out. This is the Hank. Itty bitty little finesse crankbait, runs about 6 foot deep. Got the Lexan bill. Wally was an amazing builder. Yeah, I agree with that. I think one thing about Marty's baits, they're all handmade, and he can't produce them as fast as everybody else. So there's a lot of time in that. So I get the pricing and everything. This is an original Wally G Humpy. Really cool little bait. These are baits I really don't fish, so I can't tell you much about them, but I know they have a little cult following. It's almost like a fat countdown. Guys fish it really slow. Really, really cool bait. We could do that, Bruce. Uh, I'm so far behind. I've turned down a lot of offers to sell things for guys just because I don't want people waiting forever. Uh, I'm getting calls. I got 3 calls this week from people. Can I help you set up a whatnot? And yeah, that's cool, but they don't understand. It's hard work, and people don't understand that. And they don't. Well, I don't understand how to do this and do that. I'm like, wouldn't it be easier for you just to sell me your stuff and then I sell it? Well, I don't know if I can ship it in 2 days. Well, oh man, that's awesome, Bruce. Here's another one of those Wallies. I don't know what model this is. It looks very similar to a Sea Flash. It's a little bit smaller, but I love that. It's just a really natural color. It's almost like a copper green. Really cool little bait right here. But I'm really thankful for Stephanie. I'm really thankful I got to meet her dad several times. It's really cool having one of the best bait builders. Here's another one of those Hanks. Check that. Little chartreuse green head. Nasty. And then this is the last one she said. This is a Weston. So this was named after Stephanie's son. It's a beautiful color. Man, this would be a great little riprap bait. Look at that. Little gray. It's kind of got a gray blue back. And then you got a hint of purple up here. Very similar to like the Texas Shad Bill Norman. And you got a little weight in the lip. And that's to keep it nose down as you're reeling it. Really, really cool bait. So thank you, Stephanie, for that. Matter of fact, I'll probably get those hung up on the balsa side over here. But if you're on Woodbait Nation on Facebook, I did say I'd give one to a random uh, person. We'll do that Tuesday. But that's kind of what I got going on. All that Lucky Craft, balsa stuff in a couple of weeks. And then I'll be on Whatnot tomorrow at 2, just running random fishing tackle. Mostly hard baits. I'll run some soft plastics as well too. But oh damn, them Grinnell, man, they fight good. They just ain't worth nothing. They're just bones. But anyway, I'm gonna try to do some more late night bait talks. I may even do some of these after work, like late, so I can rewatch. But I'm gonna try to at least get to one stream a week. But if you would like, I'll go back to old school bait man, and we'll just pick a topic, whether it's jerk baits, crank baits, lipless, whatever you want. We might have to do a minnow bait show. I'm slowly getting minnows in, and we'll talk about the ins and outs of each minnow bait and different hooks and stuff like that. So you guys let me know in the comments or after the video what kind of late night bait man talk, or we can talk about elite series fishing or MLF, whatever. I need to get to putting more stuff out on the YouTubes. Again, it's just hard for afternoons. But anyway, I'm going to jump off here. I know it's short but sweet. I have got a pounding headache, and I've got to get ready for the Super Bowl party tomorrow and get prepped for whatnot. So anyway, I am Baitman is signing off. Thank you for all the love on the shorts, the comments on the video. All that stuff goes to help out the algorithm and all that. So shallow grass cranking, that would be a good one. So all right, guys, see y'all on whatnot, and I'll try to get some videos for you in the future.